Hey there, Stampers, and thanks for joining me. The bird is the word this Thanksgiving season. Love this super cute flip card. And I don't know whether you want to laugh or cry. Flippin' adorable little turkey is actually made out of the bird punch, right? Bird is the word. I am not kidding. This card is for the birds. It's a really cool and surprisingly easy flip card, and your Thanksgiving hosts and friends are gonna have a lot of fun when they get it. It's not just a card, it's a toy. Okay, you want to see how to do it? Come on, let's get started. Our card base comes from the Stampin' Up. It's the circle flip card die, and this is it. It's really, really easy. Take your Sizzix Big Shot die cut machine, and I'm using the magnetic platform because I love it. You can also use the multi-purpose cutting platform that comes with it. One cutting pad down. I've got a half a sheet of crumb cake cardstock. And if you're new to my channel, thank you. Please be sure to subscribe. Love to have you. And you can get all of the information on all of these products that we're using today in this video simply by going to this URL, clicking in the link in the YouTube description below, or if you're on YouTube itself, you can click right on this video. Now with the magnetic platform, I can line this puppy up right over the crumb cake cardstock, and it just kind of pops down on that magnet so it stays in place and it will behave for you. Oh, behave. One cutting pad on top, and then just run that through. And then when you're done, that just pops right out, and there are two already scored lines, and that will be your flip card base. Do you see how easy that is? And it's fun. It's like a toy. We have these in several different styles, including a snowflake in the holiday catalog. While our Big Shot's still out, I'm switching over to the multi-purpose cutting platform on tab 1. Slide that in. Then taking the Stampin' Up! Stripes Impressions folder. We're going to have to do this twice. Once on this side of the card and once on that side of the card because the whole thing doesn't fit in at the same time. So I'm sliding this in so that the circle is not being textured, just the front flap. We're going to sandwich that between two cutting pads, and in order to make that work, you've got to do it portrait in the cutting pads. And this will make it fit in the Big Shot, and then just crank it through. Isn't that awesome? And then we're just going to switch over to the other side, and I'm going to do exactly the same thing. Again, making sure that that circle is on the outside so it's not being textured. All right, next we're going to do a little punching. These are all Stampin' Up! Punches. We've got the owl and the bird for our main bird, modern label, and the 2.5-inch circle, and the 2 3/8 scallop. And here are the punched out pieces that we'll need from each punch. We'll start by making our bird. I'm going to cut off the tail and kind of the bottom half, actually, of that, because that's going to actually go in the roasting pan, and cut this modern label in half. That's going to become our pan. And the owl punch, we just have his little foot here. I'm just going to make the foot a little bit longer so it's a little bit of a leg. And then I'm going to use some Stampin' Up! Mini glue dots to assemble, and we'll stick that little tiny little leg on the end of the bird wing, and that's going to become his little turkey leg. Yum, yum. And then a Stampin' Dimensional, a pop dot. The back of that sticks it on the bird. Actually, you know what? Before we stick this down, let's do some sponging. This is just an espresso ink pad and a Stampin' sponge. Gonna go around the edge, the foot and the leg. We'll also do it around the edge of the turkey, so he's nice and golden brown. Then you can stick that leg on there. It looks just like a turkey, doesn't it? And sponge the edge of the roasting pan too. And you can do the roasting pan with dimensionals, or I'm just using some snail adhesive. If only our turkey were so easy on Thanksgiving Day. A couple Stampin' Dimensional pop dots, stick that onto the scallop circle. And I also use dimensionals to stick that to our pumpkin pie punched out circle as well. But I'm going to take a little baker's twine. I'm just using plain white today. This is going to be to tie up his little leg. I'm tying a knot in the end. You'll notice it's still attached to the spool. I like to do that to conserve. Only cut off what you need. But then I want it to be really, really, really small. So after you've made your bow, pull these loops so that they're the tiniest little loops that you can get. And then I just cut that off, and we'll stick that on with some Stampin' Dimensionals too. Oh, I'm sorry, that's not a dimensional. That was a glue dot. Oh, I can't keep my adhesive straight. Next we have this adorable Mingle All the Ways stamp set. It's a word stamp set that is in the Stampin' Up! 2014 holiday catalog. It's got all the holiday seasons, but we're using the Hope Your Thanksgiving is Stuffed with Happiness stamp. So I've got the Early Espresso Stampin' Right marker, and I'm coloring everything directly on the rubber except the word stuffed. The word stuffed I am going to color with pumpkin pie. And then just give it a huff with your breath just to make sure that any dried marker ink has reactivated, and stamp it in the center of the second scallop vanilla. Attach that with some Stampin' Dimensionals. I've sponged around the edges of the card real quick. And then I'm going to go ahead and add our 2 circles to the center of our circle flip, and using these Stampin' Dimensionals on both. I like to do this with the card closed because it's real easy to accidentally put what you meant to go on the outside on the inside when it's open. I do it all the time. I know that doesn't surprise you. And for one last final touch, I'm going to add a little banner here out of Early Espresso. Again, measurements are on my blog. I'm just going to cut a little tail in that. And the Happy Thanksgiving comes from the Mondo I Have Everything Teeny Tiny Wishes stamp set. This is such a staple in your stamping collection. It really covers everything. Inking that in Whisper White and stamping it to the very, very right of the banner. And that just attaches down with some snail right on the inside. Love it. Love it. It's Happy Thanksgiving, whether it's opened or closed. You just love it. These fit in the normal Stampin' Up! Medium-sized envelopes. Your friends are just going to flip over this card. How flippin' adorable is this? Ba-dum-bum. I was inspired by my friend Lori Heiling, who did a very similar card. I did swap it up a little bit, and I just absolutely love the idea. You're going to have lots of fun this Thanksgiving with this card. Be sure to visit my blog for hundreds more video tutorials, daily inspiration, and my Facebook page where I post multiple times daily. Thanks for joining me today.